Today, we celebrate Minnesota's greatest get-together. Team Minnesota Bound is at the fair. Check out the updated cabin and all the new and cool gifts, including these kits, the work of Minnesota's Monarch lady.
I told you, I smell like milkweed.
We share sweet recipes to cook over open fire.
Score.
And Jessie Gerhard turns trash into outdoor treasures.
Minnesota Bound. Brought to you by Minnesota's select GMC dealers.
Hey everybody, Laura and I welcome you to the Minnesota State Fair and our Minnesota Bound cabin.
I can't believe how many people are lined up to get in the cabin already.
I know, it's going to be busy in there with you. Laura's got a tour coming in a little bit, but first we've got the story behind Minnesota's Monarch butterfly lady.
Ron Scherer set out to find out what her passion is all about.
Behold the king of butterflies, the monarch, easily recognized, the most famous butterfly in North America. Now, meet the queen of monarch butterflies, Rebecca Moriella Keene, Minnesota's butterfly lady.
I'm proud of my work. I'm proud of what I do.
Like the monarch, unmatched and unequal.
I told you, I smell like milkweed. And then in 2007, I told my husband, I said, I'm leaving construction. And I said, I'm out of here. I said, I'm going to go start the butterfly business. Everybody laughed at me. Of course, everybody was in construction. They all thought I was nuts.
Nobody laughs now.
I think I raised probably about $6,000, $7,000 my first year. It was a fantastic first year. Well, last year was between $7,000 and $10,000. Kind of stays in that range. It just depends on how many orders I have. They're such a majestic butterfly. They migrate to Mexico. The population has been an issue for the past 20 years. In fact, this last year, the population came up again. We're increasing on the eastern monarch.
Yes, she's a butterfly farmer of sorts, selling her farm-raised monarchs to be released at schools, weddings, and the like, or at outdoor events like Game Fair in Ramsey, where kids are invited to open a tiny envelope and watch in awe. And she makes butterfly kits.
That's my favorite thing to sell.
A clear plastic cup with a milkweed and a caterpillar that, days later, turns into a monarch lighter than a thumbtack. Seems like, oh, so simple, but it's not.
Life starts with the monarch eggs. This is swamp milkweed, so it doesn't look like the common milkweed. And this is some of the eggs that my butterflies laid. Little white dots, yep, and these were all laid yesterday. Takes 2 to 4 days for the eggs to hatch. And here are some of the tiny babies. These are a day old. When they first hatch, they're the size of an eyelash.
2 weeks later, the monarch caterpillar we know is busy munching on the milkweed leaves.
It sheds its skin like a snake. And so then when it gets this big, it just eats until it's done. Milkweed is the only thing that monarchs eat.
By the way, when the butterfly lady says jump, the caterpillars do.
Watch them. Jump, jump, jump. Jump, jump, jump. That you have so much fun at the butterfly farm, right?
Next, the caterpillar forms a J shape.
Well, they just hang like the letter J, but they're ready to make their chrysalis. They're done eating as a caterpillar now. The next time they eat, they will be a butterfly.
Then more magic.
In about 12 hours, it will enclose into a green chrysalis, which looks like this.
A few days later,
you can see the orange butterfly in there. And this butterfly is ready to emerge.
And shortly, a beautiful monarch unfolds like a dainty miracle. Spreading its golden wings, soon it's ready to leave.
This is the tent that we put the butterflies in before they go up for release. We have to make sure that their wings are properly developed and in good shape.
When will they mate?
When they feel like it.
In the flight room, it became obvious the monarchs loved their queen.
I love them from babies all the way up.
It's been said love is like a butterfly. It goes wherever it pleases and pleases wherever it goes. The same could be said about Rebecca, Minnesota's butterfly lady.
Welcome to the Minnesota-bound log cabin.
Coming up next, get a sneak peek at the Minnesota-bound cabin. We'll show you around and show off a few of this year's most popular outdoor gifts.
Minnesota Bound is brought to you by Minnesota's select GMC dealers, by The Yard maintenance-free outdoor furniture, Running Aces Casino, Hotel and Racetrack, and by Aluma Craft Boats.
Oh, hey everybody, welcome back to the Minnesota Bound State Fair Special. I'm digging in on the new duck drummies from Giggles Campfire Grill. We're really good with the tequila lime sauce. I'm gonna be busy with these for a while. I think Laura is up front to show you the Minnesota Bound cabin.
Hi everybody, welcome to the Minnesota-bound log cabin. So many goodies inside this year. Come with me, I'm gonna give you a tour. Lots of new items here at the log cabin this year. One of my favorites are the Monarch butterfly caterpillars, and you can do your part in saving the Monarch butterflies by taking home your own hungry caterpillar, watch it blossom into a beautiful butterfly, and release it into the wild. So fun. We also have really cool fire starters. These are called Eco Mini Bars, which are made locally here in the Midwest without any chemicals. So you can forget the smell of kerosene. It's nowhere to be found with these fire starters. Also new at the cabin this year are some watercolor paintings by a local artist called 213 Water. And she paints local lakes with our favorite iconic items on them. You can see the state of Minnesota is right there. We also have our favorite fish, the walleye. Let's face it, at the end of the state fair, it's officially fall fashion season, and boy do we have you covered here at the log cabin. We have our favorite flannel shirts. Of course, I always love to wear plaid. This one, blue one's one of my favorites. We also have some vintage logo tees with the Minnesota Bound logo, and of course there's Raven the Black Lab. Minnesotans love to wear our state proudly, and new at the cabin this year are Wildlife Minnesota hats and really cute Minnesota baseball t-shirts. The holiday season is right around the corner. The Minnesota Bound Log Cabin is a great place to stock up on gifts for your friends and family. And here I have what's called lake jewelry, and this is handmade right out of Leech Lake in Walker, Minnesota, and actually it's from glass items that have washed up right on shore. Also a great giftable item is Ron Scherer's Minnesota Outdoor Calendar. This calendar has wildlife art inside of it, and also all the dates have fun facts about when to buy your hunting and fishing license, when birds migrate, and all sorts of other information. If you have kids in your family, this is the perfect little stocking stuffer. This is called the dipping duck. And when you have a fish on, guess what? Your duck goes in for a little drink. Of course, we have to get wild in the kitchen here at the log cabin, and I have some of my favorite spices that I like to use at home. These are by the Golden Fig, and we have smoked salt, wild river herbs, salt-free, a sportsman's rub, and of course, hunters, we always say you need to brine those birds, and we have brining spices available here. We have a new litter of Raven puppies here at the cabin this year. We promise, Mom and Dad, these go home 100% housebroken. And Bacon is excited to announce that he's joining the Red Bandana Club, and we encourage your puppies to do so too. The bandanas are for sale here. Bacon, on the other hand, is not. Also, everybody loves a little treat on a stick, and don't forget about your canine friends at home. They want a treat on the stick too. Now it's time to talk about the birds and the bees. No, not that kind. We're talking about bee houses and bird houses. And this is a mason bee house, which you'll hang in your garden to help support the bee population. And over here we have a chickadee winter shelter. You'll want to hang this near the bird feeders during those winter months to allow those chickadees to come on in and warm up. So many more goodies here at the log cabin than what you saw today, so stop by and see us here at the North Woods. And if you can't quite find us, just listen for the loon tune. Gooey batter.
Still ahead, we cook over the campfire with a few sweet treats. And later, artist Jessie Gerhard turns trash into outdoor treasure. We've got a few of his favorites at the fair.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Maple Grove Lock and Safe, your premier Liberty safe dealer.
Hi everybody, welcome back to our Minnesota Bound State Fair special. All those delicious smells at the State Fair have me hungry. So today we're getting wild in the outdoor kitchen, and I'm going to show you how to make some fun, kid-friendly campfire desserts. We're going to make two simple campfire cooked desserts. First, which will be brownies, and in fact when you're camping you don't want to carry a lot of things with you, so for our bakeware we're going to use oranges. First step to getting started to making coal-fired brownies is to cut your bakeware. And again, we're using an orange as our bakeware today. I'm gonna slice that in half and start scooping out the center part, which of course you can save for later. All right, now that we have our bakeware ready to go, we are going to get into making the brownie batter. And for the ease of convenience and not needing mixing bowls, etc., we're going to use a freezer bag as our mixing bowl. And we're going to use pre-made brownie mix. We just follow the instructions on the back of the box, which requires, of course, a couple eggs. There's a couple tablespoons of water, also a couple tablespoons of oil. And I prefer adding a little extra chocolate to my brownie, so I'm going to add in about a half a cup of chocolate chips just to make it extra gooey, why not? And here's the fun part, which you can get your kids involved or family involved, is stirring this up in the freezer bag itself, and it just requires a little bit of molding the gooiness together. Our brownie batter is ready to go, and the easiest way to get the batter into our bakeware is to cut the tip of the freezer bag. We're now ready to fill our oranges with brownie gooey batter. As you can see here, it just comes right on out. The last step is to cover our brownies. Take the top part of the orange, create a little room there, wrap it up in foil, ever so gently. Throw it under the coals for 30 minutes for gooey brownies. I would say 40 minutes for standard brownies. While our brownies are roasting in the fire, we're gonna make dessert number 2, s'mores in a cone. Campfire s'mores in a cone is oh so easy. I've got my Firebugs cone holder ready to go over the fire. You take a waffle cone, wrap it in some tin foil, set it in the cone holder, and all you do is add your favorite s'mores ingredients. When it comes to the ingredients of your s'mores, go ahead and get creative. I, of course, have the traditional items such as marshmallows and chocolate, but I like to add some fun things such as roasted peanuts, maybe a Cracker Jack or 2, raisins. I have Teddy Grahams here, and if you like a little salty and sweet, some chocolate-covered pretzels would do the trick. I'm gonna go with some marshmallows for sure. I like some roasted peanuts, more marshmallows. Last step, roast it right over the fire. It is officially tasting time. I think everything is roasted here. Let's see what we got. Oh yes, look at that. 2 easy, kid-friendly campfire desserts. Just can't beat it. It's ooey gooey, yet wildly delicious.
Straight ahead, new life for old pieces of wood. Jessie Gerhard's works of art are on sale in the Minnesota Bound cabin.
Minnesota Bound is brought to you by Connecticut, Adams Pest Control, Rave Sports, your local carrier dealer, and by Totem Resorts, the premier destination for world-class fishing.
Welcome back to the Minnesota Bound State Fair Special.
You know, up next we have a hunt of a little different sort, alongside a guy by the name of Jessie Gerhard.
A Twin Cities man who sees potential in all things old and worn.
A couple more boards there.
Curiosity drives Jessie Gerhard to the back alleys of the big city,
I know where 3 spots are to go.
where this outdoorsman loves to hunt.
I'm gonna steal those ones right there for sure. I do like these little pieces. These are solid wood. I wanted to tell a story about what people thought of as trash, that someone with some skill could make it new again.
Jessie makes the rounds behind businesses he has permission to snoop.
Take and cut it into a lot of strips.
Big discovery
Score,
sounds like this,
score, score, score.
but a picker's pleasure
This feels like oak. I can't tell.
also creates pain.
Am I gonna be able to lift this?
This is a story all about habitual hoarding and its positive effects.
I got this strap off of a truck holding MREs on it when I was in the invasion of Iraq.
See, Jessie survived 3 tours of duty as a Marine Corps machine gunner. He came home after war to try and find clarity and maybe a new direction.
To be able to pursue something that was not really difficult on my body, because I can't move around as good as I used to be able to.
Jessie built on his lifelong hobby and earned 2 degrees in woodworking.
By the time I was done with college, I had enough tools to make a living.
So he set up shop, literally, in an old Northeast workshop. It is here his story finally took shape.
I find wood wherever I can get it and make stuff out of it. So it's all recycled wood.
A business that started with a single canoe.
90% of this is all church pew. The deck here is a cedar fence, and then the waste from the canoes I make into the paddles. The waste from the paddles, a lot of times I make into the fishing nets. The waste from that I make into fishing lures.
Jessie's form of recycling, a practice well perfected. Just look around.
Hello. Hi. How are you doing?
Jessie's show booths never stay empty long.
And they're all from someone's fence that fell over in Robbinsdale. I keep saying someone's, it was actually my fence that fell over. This was the first prototype, and definitely my favorite type of paddle to paddle with.
Who knew one man's treasure could come from so much trash?
Show people that somebody with some skill could take what all other people thought was trash and make it into something that was good enough to even pass down to their children. A strange thing to think about, that it was in the dumpster, and then I made something out of it and people hang it up as a piece of art.
We have a few of Jessie's favorites for sale at the cabin.
They're really cool pieces. Such cool stuff. Kind of like these walleye cakes from Giggles.
Are you eating again?
It is the fair, right?
We'll be around all week along with the rest of the Minnesota Bound crew.
Stop in and say hello, and if we don't see you, remember, introduce a kid to the great outdoors.
Cheers.
Transportation provided by Premier Transportation. Call 1-800-899-7433. To get more Minnesota Bound, including full episodes, go to mnbound.com. And to follow our latest adventures, like us on Facebook.